G'day guys, Dr. James Simcock here. Hope you guys all had a fantastic Christmas. We're just doing a short video here for our YouTube members, and what we're looking at is the planning for a Cblo procedure. So just prior to Christmas I did a Cblo in a young golden retriever, and the reason that we do a Cblo as opposed to a TPLO is that with a TPLO the cut is going to be in this direction here, and we're going to be rotating this proximal segment of bone around. And what I'm worried about is if we make our cut here and we have this open tibial apophysis, that there's going to be an area of weakness and there's a greater chance of a tibial tuberosity avulsion fracture. So the Cblo works slightly differently in that the cut is basically located just underneath here, and so we rotate the bone in a different way, and so it shouldn't have the same risk of fracture of that tibial tuberosity. So a couple of differences with the planning that I thought was interesting to go through with you. So with the TPLO, we're generally aiming for a post-operative tibial plateau angle of around about 4 or 5 degrees. Now, one of the big differences with the Cblo is that the post-operative angle that we're aiming for is around about 10 degrees, so it's a bit higher. And Don Holtz and the guys that developed Cblo did some workup and studies looking at the optimal post-op angle, and that can actually vary a little bit depending on the pre-operative tibial plateau angle, but we generally aim for a post-op TPA of around about 10 degrees. So just to get you oriented here, we've got our lateral stifle X-ray, obviously a lot of effusion in here, nicely positioned, 90 degrees of flexion in the stifle joint. We've got our femoral condyle superimposed, as I said, a lot of effusion in this joint, a little bit of arthritis, some osteophytes here on the patella. And the key thing again is that this tibial apophysis is open. That's why we're going to be looking at a Cblo procedure. So the first thing we do, the first line we put on here, this planning can get complicated. The first line we put on here is this line here, which is our joint orientation line. So this line is effectively looking at our tibial plateau angle, and then the next line we do is a line from here which goes through the condyle, so that the intercondyle eminence is just here, and then the angle that we want is about 10 degrees. So here I've got about 11, so 10 or 11 is about right. Then what we're looking for is the point that intersects with this third line, and this third line is the mid-diaphyseal line, and where this goes from is the tubercle of Gertie, so around about here, and then to a midpoint in the medullary cavity between the bottom of the tibial tuberosity or tibial crest and the medullary bone over here. So the midpoint between the medullary cavity on this point here. So from here to here, we're looking at the midpoint. So that's the third line. And then the point of intersection here is the one that we're interested in. This is defining the core, or the center of rotational angulation for this particular leg. And this is where we're going to make our osteotomy based on this point here. So what we can see here is that the angle that we need to correct is 17 degrees. So if I click on here, we can see that this angle between the proximal orientation line and the mid-diaphyseal line is about 17 degrees. So our amount of rotation is actually going to be 17 degrees in this particular case. Now, the next thing we want to put on when we're looking at coras is the transverse bisecting line. And this basically is a line that transects the two angles here and here. So I've already worked out and measured, and I know that the angle between here and here and then here and here is going to be the same. And so anywhere on this transverse bisecting line now is going to be the point where we can place our saw. So anywhere on this line is a cora. Now if we make a cut that's away from the cora, then what will happen is when we actually correct the angulation, we'll get a little bit of translation. So it's a little bit different to when we're doing a cora osteotomy when we're using a concentric saw, because we want the center of rotation of that saw to be on the transverse bisecting line. And so what I'm going to do here, I've selected my saw blade, and the saw blade selection really comes from looking at the saw that is going to effectively exit the cortex at 90 degrees. So up here, it exits the cortex caudally at 90 degrees. And then when it exits the cranial cortex, down here, it's going to be basically parallel to that cranial cortex line. So we can see as I rotate that saw like this, as we're cutting, that we're going to exit 90 degrees up here, and we're going to come parallel to that cranial cortex at that point. So this saw blade was a 24 blade saw, and that's where we're going to make our osteotomy like that. The final comment I'd make then is when we're actually looking to rotate this, if we're using our TPLO rotation charts that we have in our surgery that generally take like a 24 angle down to a 4-degree angle. We want to add on 4 degrees. So this one was 17 degrees, I'm adding 4. So when I'm in surgery, I'm going to look at the chart that's there, and I'm going to say, look, we've got a 24 blade, and we've got a 21 degree rotation, and I'm going to see how many millimeters that is, and that amount of millimeters or that distance should correlate with this distance here. So once we actually rotate things around, that should straighten up quite effectively. So that is the Cblo planning. The final thing is then the plate. The plate that we've got. So this is the plate that we have here, and that sits on generally like this. So that again, with our plates, we've got a slightly different screw configuration in here. VPOP Pro is the planning software that we're using here, and it's a really great planning software. And with this, we want to just make sure that all of our screw holes are not going to penetrate the cortex. We're going to be away from the joint. And I think this will work really, really nicely. So that's the planning for the Cblo procedure, a bit different to the TPLO. The other thing I should point out is that when we make our measurements, so when we actually take this into the operating room, what I'll do is actually measure 2 lines, so D1 and D2. So one is from the joint surface down to where this saw blade is going to exit the bone, and we've got a rotation, a 15.5 millimeter distance there, and then the other one, this isn't working today. The other one we want to look at is, no, I don't want to move the whole thing, I want to move that line. We'll do another line. The other one I want to look at is from this point here to the tibial tuberosity right there. So we can see that 17.3 millimeters. So we've got 2 measurements now that we can then take into the operating room, and then we can emulate this, this particular procedure. So that's the Cblo planning. Hope you guys enjoyed that. As I say, my name's been Dr. James Simcock, and this video is for our YouTube members. So we really want to thank you guys for joining the membership. If you guys have any comments or feedback on what we can do or provide for you guys in this membership area, then certainly do reach out. Hope you have a good day. Thank you.